Rick.
Okay guys, this is the Tuskegee, the FMS 1700mm P-51 that I converted to a Tuskegee B model or C model, depending on what you want, by doing the Razorback mod right here using a top flight canopy kit, conversion kit for their top flight giant scale Mustang that I had talked about months ago. This is not the hatch version like I did before. This is actually a permanent version. It's a different hatch, but it has actually got a real C version hatch on it. Same setup. I'm using all stock with a few little added improvements to it. Nothing changing the power system, the ESC, or on the BEC. So I've added two 9-gram servos because I've turned the functional pylons in front into an actual operational bomb drop. They'll actually fall off, and I can drop the drop tanks or add extra 500-pound bombs and so forth, put it on there. But this will kind of give you a video view of me walking around. I'll drop the flaps for you. Same thing as my Frankie Mustang. This still has the original stock FMS old version 1 retracts into it, and I'm waiting for FMS to deliver me the new version retracts that they promised me months ago through Banana Hobbies. A few of them. I actually have 3 sets of those coming from 3 different individuals. But there it is. Here's the modification. I stayed with the silver paint scheme. Callie from Cali Graphics did me a beautiful set of graphics for the ones that I did have to replace. The stars and bars on the wings are still the originals. The graphics on the side, where the fuselage is redone for this, are made by Cali Graphics. And Callie, I appreciate you for sending me the graphics. This is actually balsa wood. I used the seam line right here, which is the original panel line, is where I brought it down to. And I left it up a little higher here than normal, because if you bring it all the way down like a true scale model would be down here, because of the way FMS has designed this and built this, you would actually have to cut the dorsal fin off, and it would make it absolutely weak, and where the 2 bolts hold on the front area here, they would actually serve no purpose, and you would be forced to glue the tail on. I could actually cut this right here if I want to, if anything wants to happen to the vertical fin, and replace this assembly and put this back on if I want. I have it right now because I don't need to, but it is designed to be that way, to be able to remove this. That's why it's a little higher here than normal, out of scale, call it standoff scale if you will, is to allow some strength in this area, which is what holds on the vertical. And that was the purpose for raising this up. You'll notice that the canopy doesn't exactly sit perfectly parallel with the line, as some folks have pointed out before, but that's because of the design of the canopy and modifying another airplane's design canopy to fit to it. It does sit a little higher, but normally this line right here would be parallel with this line, and mine is slightly raised because on a D version the canopy is actually put on at a slant, and if you do that, put it on the slant, you'll actually have the foam up in the window showing right here through the back part of it, because right now it's right even with the bottom of the silver line you see. As a matter of fact, it's slightly exposed right there. That's why mine is off at just a little bit of an angle. This is the original antenna, and I've tried some new chrome paint on here that I've touched up in a few areas. I haven't painted these yellow or painted chrome because I wanted to try something different for right now. The silver areas you see right here, I actually took plywood blocks and thin plywood blocks, and this is the CG location at the 120mm mark for the CG, and I put these on here to help when I CG it, keep fingerprints from being poked into the wing because of the weight of the airplane. I've added the same rocket pods that I had on the P-47. I can actually snap them to this from an extra set of pylons that I had. I can put them on here or take them off as an accessory. It kind of adds a nice look to it. Does not affect the CG on it whatsoever, whether it's balanced or not. And honey, if you'll swing around the front right there, you'll get a picture right here. I have added the stock landing light to it that actually comes on when the gear is down and the center doors are open, is what they're coupled to. The landing light will actually come on, and then when the gear is up, it'll actually go off. I have stuck with the original 3 machine gun layout that comes with the airplane for the D version, since that's what it was originally, and didn't cut these back because I didn't want to clean it up. They just kind of look nice, but normally on a B and a V version, for most of us who know our airplane history and layouts and so forth, this would be 2 machine guns, but if you'll notice in their positioning, they would be right where my fingers are, which these are actually offset to the other side. So that's a cheat on the scales. I just went ahead and left it with 3, and instead of trying to create a 2 that went in here. But the mods I did are the turtleback razor. It's back here to turn it into a C version, B version, and C version. I added a landing light from Dimension Engineering. It's actually controlled through a PCB. I can turn this on or off. I coupled it with the gear door so that they turn it on or off. I've added the bazooka rocket launchers as an added accessory that can be taken on and off, and I've turned the original pylons into a droppable situation where the pylons can actually come drop the bombs off there, and I can put bombs or whatever. This is the bombs drop system from Hobby Lobby, if you guys want to look it out. It's real easy to mod into it there, and it just uses 2 real cheap 9-gram servos to actuate the trigger mechanism and pull off the original hookup that was on here and change it over to theirs, and now they're bomb drops. But that's my airplane. I've done it in the Macon Bell, even though I did add the nose art girl on the front that's not original, and the Confederate Air Force wings from Minnesota, actually. These are the CCF wings. Outside of that, these are the markings for the Macon Bell, which was the Tuskegee Airmen ace, one of the only aces of the Tuskegee Airmen, and a fantastic, brave pilot, and beautiful airplane. They flew many different airplanes, and I just like the C version. We're all familiar with the red tails, but the majority of the red tail airplanes were actually B and C versions, and not the D versions with the red tail back like here, which I've stuck with the slant instead of the back, trimming it back here to the back, because I like this version a lot better that we've seen in the movie Red Tails. This is my version of it. Nice airplane, documented. She flies very well. I have not done the prop mod up front to increase the pitch on the propellers. I'm going to fly it stock like it is. I had to add 2 ounces to the nose to add it just a slightly nose heavy. I can probably pull an ounce of that out, and she's ready to go. I did go back with canopy glue, and in spot areas here, you'll notice along the canopy here, if you can zoom in there a little bit on this screen, right in here, I actually went back and beefed up the rivet detail so that it's more pronounced, and I riveted the front of the canopy like it is to add some detail, and I've made my own custom stock Tuskegee Pilot that's down inside here, painted with the proper complexion, and he's full-bodied all the way down to, well, I won't say his feet, but his pant legs, because his legs would be up on the pedal. And it's made from an Aces of Iron Pilot that I sent a free copy to Todd Arrows on RC Group we talked about, aka Arrows, and V8 so that they could use in their planes as well, good friends of mine. Anyway, there it is, guys. The Tuskegee FMS B version Mustang.